Hello and welcome to the very first episode of a brand new Motorist series, In The Headlight. In this series, we're going to take a look at all kinds of cool and interesting cars. We're going to have cars you've never seen before, cars you didn't even know were in Singapore, and maybe a car you've always wanted to see. And we've got a pretty cool one lined up today. I'm at Classic Motorworks with the big boss, the El Jefe, the founder of Classic Motorworks, Mr. Lu Han.
Hi guys, I'm Lu Han. I'm the owner and founder of Classic Motorworks. Today we are going to look at a very beautiful car, 1982 Mercedes-Benz 280 GE G-Wagen.
So tell me, Lu Han, what is it we're looking at today? Give me a brief overview of what we have in front of us.
The G-Wagen, even though it's sold by Mercedes, is actually built in Austria by a company called Pew, but it's written P-U-C-H. I mean, we will think that it's pronounced push, but I googled it last night and it was actually Pew. The car was actually built there, and this idea was suggested by the Shah of Iran, who was a major shareholder of Mercedes back in the 1970s. And they wanted to develop a vehicle that was so good off-road to use in the desert. This is actually the only vehicle in the world that is sold from factory with 3 fully locking differentials. There is no other vehicle like that.
3 fully locking differentials.
Yes.
So one at the front, one
One at the
diff,
front,
and one rear diff.
in the center, and one in the rear. Even the closest competitors like the Land Rovers and the Land Cruisers, most of them usually only come with a center locking diff. So Mercedes really sets itself apart in this aspect.
Let's have a look at this front end. I mean, it looks like, the G-Wagons of today. I guess the design hasn't changed much. You got these bull bars, or what they're called. But what I'm interested in, right, are these bars over the lights and the indicator lights. Was this an ex-military vehicle? Like, was this actually, used for?
This vehicle probably isn't from the military. It is very likely a civilian vehicle, but with military-inspired front grills and headlights and bumpers.
So it's the military version of ricing a car.
Yeah, we can say that. I mean, look at the grills. They protect this signal light. This thing protects the headlamp. This whole bumper protects the front. And then we even have a little towing hook here. You can lift it up and you can put your tow bar or ratchet strap or whatever. Then you put it back in and you can use this to recover the vehicle when it is stuck in the mud. Oh,
cool. I've also noticed these wheels. Like the rims on these cars, there's no way these are the original G-Wagen wheels from 1982.
So these are not the original rims for sure. The original rims were steel rims. They were not very pleasant to look at. So this unit we have changed it to alloy rims, and it is much nicer. It looks cool. It matches the car really well.
Alright, so Lu Han, run me through this engine. Looks pretty clean, but what is it?
Well, it really looks pretty good. What we have here is a 280 GE. I mean, by 280, it actually means 2.8 liters. And this engine is the M110. It is the same engine as the one used in the S-Class of its time, the W116. It's an inline six-cylinder engine with injection. The older variants of these were running on carburetors, but I mean, if you wanted to, you could still change it to carburetors. And then we even have the original yoke type aircon, which is a standing aircon compressor. And we have the air filter here, the battery over there, the brake booster and the clutch there. Overall, it really looks pretty good.
Alright, let's go take a look at the side of the car.
Let's go.
So I think one of the things, right, about G-Wagen, one thing I really love about G-Wagen is, this iconic, boxy design that even though this came out in 1982, right, new G-Wagen, it came out of the factory, yesterday? It's going to have pretty much the same look.
Yeah, I don't think they changed the looks by much. I mean, you can easily tell that this is a G-Wagen, the new one is a G-Wagen. The dimensions are more or less the same. The new one probably has a bit more plastic at the front, but that's about it. Then they even retain these external hinges, which is very unique to the G-Wagen. You can see for all modern cars or old car, new cars, the hinges are always on the inside. But for the G-Wagen, the hinge is on the outside. And the door gap is so big, you can put a little finger inside. So this car has there used to be a plastic, the original car had a plastic little seal, but we didn't like that, so we fabricated this rock slider for it. So you can step on it, it's very strong, and jump on it doesn't drop. Bolted to the chassis, very nice, very sturdy. And the most special thing about this car is we have this beautiful roof rack from Taobao. I think it's around $1,500. Made of stainless steel, I think that's what they claim lah.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. But it looks good, functional, you can put stuff there. Really makes the look of the car.
Taobao roof rack. If you're looking for a roof rack, Taobao is
go
your
for
answer.
Taobao. The leather is actually part of the roof rack from Taobao, so it's actually a fantastic deal.
$1,500, you get a full roof rack, you get
a
a
roof rack and the leather.
bag.
Wow, perfect.
Really completes the look, I think.
Okay, so one interesting thing about this is that the fuel cap has a lock that's hidden. So most people wouldn't know that. It looks like it's one unit, but no, you can lock it up. And you can prevent people from stealing your petrol.
That was a big problem though, right? In like, you know, in the 80s and 90s,
it's probably
people
not
siphoning
a problem
fuel.
at all in Singapore. I mean, I don't think our security here is so good. No one's going to go around and steal petrol or steal diesel. But maybe in the UK, in other countries, it will be a different matter. So you really need to have a lock here. Oh, what's in the boot?
It's a lot of space is what's in the boot.
This vehicle is registered as a 7-seater, so 232. Oh, and then the owner have this ladder, this little thing.
Is this also from Taobao?
I don't know, probably. So you put it up and then you can use it to climb into the car.
Ah, okay.
Very convenient.
For you height vertically challenged friends, you know, you can still get into a G-Wagon. All you need is a small step ladder, probably from Taobao. You want to go to the roof rack, you got a ladder, also from Taobao. So no matter what your problem is, Taobao is the answer.
The G-Wagon was very unique for its time. I mean, the competitors, the G-Wagons, the 4x4s, at the time, they were all using solid axles and leaf springs. But G-Wagon was the only car that came out from the factory with full coil spring. And this is because the Mercedes wanted the car to have comfort as important as the off-roading abilities. And for the brake system, we have drums on the rear and calipers on the front.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, the stopping power is more than adequate.
I think it's some of the biggest drum brakes I've ever seen. So here we are in the G-Wagon, going for a short drive. Nice to, you know, get out of the heat, have some air conditioning. And honestly, so far we've been on the road, half a minute, and it's really comfortable. Like, you don't really expect something, you know, of this size to be, you know, ride this smoothly. But I think like what Luhan said just now, you know, the coil springs all round, it was built for comfort even when it was new, and I think it's held up pretty well.
It's very fun to drive. It's really a very good car, very well built. The power and the blend, the acceleration, the stability of the car. Overall, it is a very convincing package for any driver out there. And then we can see the driving position, we are so high up. It's really very comfortable.
Yeah, so the other thing you really get a sense of, right, in the G-Wagon is like this sense of power almost over other road users. Because you know, usually you sit in your car, you look over, you can see the guy sitting next to you. Now you can't. Now you look at the roof, because you know, we're really high up, even in the passenger seats, right? These seats are really high up. So you really get this sense of, you know, towering over everybody else. Makes you feel like king of the road. I like being king.
I like being king too.
Okay, so here we are inside the G-Wagon, and Luhan, earlier you were saying about the individually locking differentials. So where is that in the cabin?
So for this car, right, 5-speed manual box, transfer case lever over here. So now we are in low range 4x4 center lock. So we can climb into high range by moving this here, here and here. Now we are in rear wheel drive. To lock the front differential, we pull up this knob, and for the rear, this knob. Oh. So by engaging 1, 2 and this, we will have locked the front, the rear and the center. So these two knobs, you no longer see them in the modern G-Wagons. The modern G-Wagons, they have 3-liter switches here to lock the front, rear, center. So this is like the very unique feature about the older G-Wagons.
Okay, so the other thing I noticed in here, you can't help but notice, the interior is immaculate. Like, look at the state of the leather. It's like out of a brand new car, and look at the headliner. It's plush. Feels like one of the softest carpets I've ever felt.
So this is the same leather as the ones used in aeroplane. So we wanted this for the durability. We also wrapped the dashboard, this area here, just to make it all blend well together.
So if I wanted to buy this, how much would it run me?
I think a car done up in such a condition, like really pretty good, in the region of 100k, 110k, definitely above 100,000.
Not
Because
too bad,
so much
honestly.
work has been
Yeah.
has gone into the car.
You can see the amount of effort that's in this. It's
Like most people who saw this G-Wagen for the very first time, they wouldn't think that this car is 35 years old or 38 years old.
Yeah.
They see, oh wow, this G-Wagen, it looks like it's 20 years old maybe 10 over years old. And then they get a shock when they actually find out that, oh, this car was actually made in and registered in 1982. It's so old, but it doesn't feel that old. Everything is great.
So we've come to the end of this very first episode of In The Headlight. We hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did by looking at this incredible G-Wagen. Thank you very much, Luhan, for
Thank you
lending
for
it to
having
us. So if you like this video, leave a like. If there's something else you want us to have a look at, leave a comment down below and be sure to stay subscribed for all of our latest content. Thank you very much for watching and we'll see you on the next one.
Motorist.